What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Patrick here, and in this video what we're going to do is the exact same example that we did in the previous video, but instead of doing it through a pie graph, we're now going to show it visually through a bar graph. So remember, we're still analyzing categorical variables, and we mentioned that there's two tools to do that with, pie graphs and bar graphs. So bar graphs is what we're going to focus on right now. So we were given a first-year course with 40 students, and we have the 40 students here and each of their respective majors. And we mentioned how the students are the individuals being analyzed, and then the majors are the categorical variables. And because we were doing a pie graph, we figured out what the proportion was. So I kept that percentage column written out from the previous example. This wasn't here originally. And the reason why I kept it is because with bar graphs, you can actually make them with both the number of students or the proportion, the percentage. So if we do it with the number of students, the way you make them is you draw the axes. Now, in the x-axis is always going to be the categorical variable that you're looking at. So in this case, the categorical variable is the major. And then this here, the y-axis, is always either the number of individuals or the percentage of the whole. So let's first do it with the number of students. You want to pick some kind of scale to go up by. So we're going up to 20, so let's go up by 4. So we'll have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Let's write these out. And now what happens is you go through each categorical variable and then you plot it with a bar. So notice how there are 10 students in math. So notice that 10 is between 8 and 12 in the middle here. So what you would do is you would make a bar, maybe it should be a little lower, like that. And then this here is math, right? So the frequency is, that's another word. This y-axis can be the frequency, which is the absolute number of individuals for each category. So the frequency of students that are in math is 10. And you could see that by the height of the bar. And then what you do is you go to the next category, so science, and there's going to be space in between the bars on a bar graph. Now, we're going to deal with something similar called a histogram when we're dealing with quantitative variables in future videos, and you're going to notice there's not going to be a space in between the bars for a histogram. However, for a bar graph, there is spaces. So you got math here. Science, there's 20 students, so the bar is going to be all the way up there. Like that, so science. And then you're going to have English. There's 2 students, so 2 would be a smaller height like that. So this would be English. And then we have arts, which is going to be at 8. So that's going to be like over here. And that's pretty much how you make a bar graph with the frequency on that right side. Okay, so notice that each bar is separated for each category, each categorical variable that you're looking at. And then the height of the bar, you can tell what is the number of students in each of those majors. Now, as I mentioned, you can also make this y-axis here the proportion or the percentage. So if we change this to percentage of students, notice that our scale then is going to have to change. And we can go up by tens. I think that will work. We won't have to change the bars then. So we'll have 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 50. So math is 25%. Between 20 and 30, and then we'll have science at 50%, and then we'll have English at 5%, which is supposed to be in the middle between 0 and 10 there, and then arts would be at 20% right there. Okay, so this could be the percentage of the data as well, as a heads up. And one more thing I want to mention about bar graphs is sometimes they'll be presented, some profs require this too, from largest to smallest. So then you can easily tell which category or which few categories are the most dominant ones, which ones have the highest bars. You could tell from here, but if there's a bunch, right, if there's a lot more categories, sometimes it's helpful to have it presented from largest to smallest, from left to right. So for example, let me just show you with this example here. So notice that science, this class here, is mostly science majors. So we would start with science, make that bar to 50%. So this would be science. And then we would have math would be next, so that would be at 25%. Right there. And then we would have arts at 20. Right there. And then English would be at 5%. So because we only had 4 variables in this example, it wasn't too big of a deal. We could tell which one was the dominant one pretty easily. But if you have a bunch of categories, then sometimes rearranging it from largest to smallest is more helpful.